Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Austin Weaver, and for my Better Me, Better World project, I'm in the process of becoming a motivational speaker for those with autism like me, as I'm also speaking to their families as well. With this project, this one doesn't end like right before this course is over. This is something that's ongoing, as I will, of course, plan to continue with this project for longer after this course, of course. So let's get this started, shall we? All right. So why I chose the Better World project. So here's the reasons why, as you can see in bullet points. So I was diagnosed with autism at age 2 and was nonverbal until age 5. Yes, I'm sharing a little bit about me, by the way. So my autism story of being told that I will never graduate with my peers, being in all special ed classes before mainstreaming in all regular classes, and my father teach me how to speak through hooked on phonics and puzzles will also help benefit those with autism and their parents. That is always possible to be what you want in life, regardless of having autism. And so with this, here's the reason why um besides keeping my autism story in short. I wish to share my whole autism story, but I know with this project I don't want to feel like my whole story would don't would take up the whole presentation. So I'm sure it will take like 15 minutes or so to show my story, and I don't want to make this presentation longer than that. So here's the reason why I chose to do the Better World project. Besides my life, I want to make a big change for those with autism within my community and the world, and help them see the possibility that they are unique with their own autism. Yes, as that's the main reason why. And another reason is that I feel like a big role model that will help influence the lives of those with autism. So that's why I chose to do this Better World project, and why I decided to become a speaker. All right. So, what are the goals of my motivational speaking business? All right. So, the goals of me doing this is, as you can see, is to build up my reputation by starting off locally here in the area of Prescott Valley, Arizona. Yes, for doing my speaking engagements to those with autism, like for example, like me speaking at schools, especially autism schools, grade schools, autism workplaces, business organizations, etc. here in the area. And then I'll work my way up to speaking around the world. Yes, once I build up my reputation one step at a time, baby steps. Yes. And also I'm my goal is to also write some books based on autism, as I'm currently writing one right now, which is called Everything's Possible with Autism, which is based on my autism story and how I've overcome my own obstacles with autism, and also teach those with autism and the parents how they can also overcome their own obstacles as well. And my last goal is to make YouTube videos of myself speaking about different autism topics, and also posting those YouTube videos on Facebook for great advertisement of building up my reputation as a speaker and to help inspire those with autism. Yes. All right. So let's dig into the leadership skills applied, as I will explain all the way through this slide of why I feel that these leadership skills really do apply to my Better Me, Better World project. All right. So here's motivation and inspiration. So with those two, with these two, it really comes, especially when it comes to your target audience, such as myself speaking to those with autism, along with giving them hope that they too can achieve whatever goals and dreams regardless of their autism. that yes, they can do it too, regardless of their autism, they can achieve whatever goals and dreams they want to achieve at. And also, autism is not a disability, it's a superpower. And the other one is relationship building. All right, so as a speaker, it is really important to have with your target audience and who you're helping around the world. And without connection, if you don't have connection, if you don't have a great relationship with whoever you're helping, especially with the target audience when it comes to being a speaker, right? Then it will be difficult to help others. Does that make sense? All right. And then the other one is problem solving. Yes, absolutely. So this one is extremely important to have as a motivational speaker, as it's important to address how the lives of those with autism can be improved, especially with the difficulties they also face in life, such as being bullied in school, for example, and then not being included with the other students in school, or just anyone in general. Like even those with autism, they need to be included. And that's one of the themes that I also want to keep addressing, especially like, for example, those in regular grade schools and just other places too, like businesses or organizations. So that way others can understand more that those with autism need to be included. Yes. And as a speaker, you also make a big difference to your target audience, especially like, for example, me making a big difference to those with autism. So the next one is decision making. Yes, exactly. So this one is always used to plan your next action, such as where you'll speak at next, for example, and what topic you'll be discussing about. So yes, even when it comes to like before you reach out to the next places of where you want to speak at, or before places would even like find out about you and start contacting you, hey, I need a speaker. And well, it's always important to, of course, plan your next steps ahead. Like, what am I going to speak about to these students based on who you will be talking about? Who who will I be talking about? Who will be my target audience? Would it be regular sixth graders? Would it be those with autism? Would it be their parents? What would it be? And where will I speak at? So it's always important to keep that in mind before you plan the next step, before you actually start speaking wherever you're going to speak at. And so, all right, that's that. The next one is persuasion. Yes, extremely important when it comes to being a speaker, right? So this one is also important to advertise, such as on social media like Facebook and Instagram, for example. And it's really important to spread the word that you are open to speak at whatever location that needs a speaker based on whatever target audience you are dealing with. And a great example is me always advertising on Facebook and Instagram by making reels, like these short 1-minute videos of myself speaking about one autism topic. Then at the end of the video, I would say, if you need an autism speaker at your school, autism workplace, business, company, etc., contact me, hit me up. And so that's how persuasion is used when it comes to me being a speaker. All right, so the next one is presentation skills. Yes, that one's another extremely important leadership skill, even when it comes to public speaking like me, of being a motivational speaker. So with this one, I totally use this skill for every time I speak, as I always do presentations like what I'm doing here right now, like these slideshows right now, like whether I speak in person or virtually. So even when I would speak in person, or virtually like this. And it depends on the topic I will be speaking to my target audience about. I would even need to create slides, even with visual aids, based on whatever topic I'm talking about to my target audience, like this. So the next one is active listening. So this one is definitely used at the end of every speaking engagement for when I'm open to questions and answers from my audience, and also when I contact different places to speak at when it comes to planning with them before I speak, right? So that's how it's used. And then the next one is empathy. Yes, absolutely. Gotta have empathy when it comes to helping others like around the world. And especially when it comes to being a speaker too. Because the thing is that if you don't have empathy for your target audience and or when you help others around the world, then what's the point of helping them, right? But when you think about it, and in order to make a big difference around the world, you gotta have empathy. You gotta care from heart about others too, and you gotta be empathetic about who you're helping. Because if you don't, then it's gonna be hard to help others, and then what's the point of it, right? So next one is focus. So with this one, I've always have been focusing on small goals by baby steps that will build my way up to becoming a professional speaker around the world. Like, for example, I'm currently focusing on speaking to places in the state here of Arizona, where I live, to build up my reputation, like I said. Then I'll progress from there in order for my reputation to build up even more, just like what I stated earlier. And last but not least, we got positivity. Yes, another important one. So this one is even the most important for who you're helping. And when you're positive, then they'll become positive too. Simple as that. And if you're negative, then they'll become negative. It depends on the energy that you have. So you gotta have positivity, especially if you're making a big difference for who you're helping, right? All right. Let's share the fun part. Here are some pictures to share with you guys. So, just like what I stated earlier, on the left picture here, this is the first book that I have been working on right now. It's called Everything is Possible with Autism. Yes, this should be published soon, like this year. And then the next picture here is one of the reels I did for Autism Awareness Month, which is back in April. And with this one, as you can see, I was, of course, advertising on Facebook for myself to speak at more public locations. And then on the right side here for these pictures, there are two of my speaking engagements. Like the right picture here, I spoke virtually to sixth graders about autism and inclusion, especially about self-esteem and bullying even. And the bottom one here, I spoke at an autism workplace, as you can see, as I was sharing my autism story to those with autism, along with giving them hope. And so here are the pictures here. Hope you guys enjoy looking at those. All right. So here is a SWOT analysis. So, for the strengths that I have for my project here is that, as you can see, I have done 4 speaking engagements so far. Those with autism and their parents enjoy the message even as I spread to them based on giving them hope and that they can still be whatever they want to be. Yes, especially those with autism. Yes, I'm talking about those with autism, exactly, regardless of their own autism. Yes, that's what I mean by that. And then for my weaknesses, you can see, is that what needs to be improved as I do this project? Well, I'll tell you right now is that what I could improve more on my project, as you can see here, is not being too focused on one thing for a long time. As much as I have the patience to do so. At the same time, I just need to learn to move on. This applies to when I would try to call and email every autism school and autism workplace, and most of them are slow at contacting me back. So all right, so with this one, I've always had this weakness on, like, when it comes to everything, not just me being stuck on contacting one autism workplace, but I would I would be stuck doing something like one thing, like say like a question on a homework assignment. It's like I'll be stuck trying to solve this homework assignment and trying to call this autism workplace back, and then I'll have so much patience to where I'll keep doing it, but then I wouldn't move on soon enough. It would take me forever to move on. So my weakness here is that if it's still difficult for me to do a task such as me contacting a workplace, or when it comes to anything in life, I just need to tell myself to move on. Don't be stuck doing one thing. I just need to learn to move on. All right, opportunities. So as you can see, what I could do differently with my own leadership skills is to not have too much patience and concentration on a single place to get a hold of to speak at, as there are many other places around the world for me to speak at to inspire lots more of those with autism. So at least that's the great news of my motivational speaking business, is that there are many opportunities out there for me to keep advantage of. So just got to keep that in mind instead of being stuck on one place to try to keep a hold of. Just got to move on and keep in mind this opportunity. And last but not least here is threats. So sometimes when it comes to contacting places and asking if they're available for me to speak for them, it's not always easy, because here's why. They would at times tell me that they would be unavailable to fit me into the schedules for me to do my speaking engagements, as they have other events going on. As this mostly applies to schools even, such as them going through testing or graduation or whatever they have going on, as much as it's mostly testing and graduation, which is understandable. So here's that. And then we got the core model. So as you can see here, the concrete experience with this project is that after calling every school and autism workplace to speak at, most of them will not call or email me back to keep me updated if I can speak at those places. Just like what I mentioned a little bit ago, how I kept contacting one place instead of moving on, as much as they would take forever, right? And then the reflective observation is that because there are lots of other places that I can speak at, such as what I mentioned in the opportunities in the SWOT model, if a place never gets back to me, then I just need to learn more to move on and not spend too much time trying harder to contact the same place for 1 or 2 weeks straight, for example. And then the abstract conceptualization. So as I'm patient on one place to reach back to me, I'll work harder at communicating with many other places I can reach out to within the same 1 or 2 week period, while I'm waiting for the other places I kept trying to get a hold of. And then last but not least, active experimentation. So with this, I'll just keep practicing to move on to the next place I find and want to get a hold of, as there may be lots of other places that would be available for me to speak at. So there's always possibilities out there that lots of other places would fit me into their schedules for me to speak to them. So there's always hope for me out there too. So I just need to learn to move on. So you got the recommendations to future students. All right. So my recommendations is that one, just remember that you're only doing this project from your heart, not because you have to, because, oh, I'm doing this because I want the certification. Oh, I have to do this because it's part of this course. No, you're mainly doing this because you want to do it from your heart. Yes. Serving others all comes from your heart. And again, just like what I mentioned earlier, if you don't have empathy and positivity, then again, what's the point of serving others and helping others, right? And then my last recommendation is that if you're doing this project to help yourself, then you will also help all sorts of people. If you're doing this project to help others, then ask yourself, what types of people are you passionate about serving? Such as, for example, are you passionate about helping and serving children or anyone with disabilities? Like me speaking to those with autism, or poor families, or etc., or whoever it is that you have in mind of helping. And what would I do differently? Well, like what I've been discussing, besides having too much patience on one thing, I would not spend too much time on one thing if it's too time consuming to get done. I would just move on to getting the next thing done as I'm waiting to get the other thing done, such as me waiting for like 1 or 2 weeks straight or more for one place to get a hold of me, even though they never emailed me or called me back. So instead of me being patient and waiting forever for the one place still to keep a contact with me, just pull that aside, just move on. Just move on to the next place where I'm still waiting for the one place to get a hold of me. All right, you guys, that's it. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this presentation. I just hope this helps a lot, as this Better Me, Better World project has helped me by a lot to make a big difference for myself and others. So good luck to all the future students out there who will be taking this course, as it will definitely make a bigger difference in your life as well. So see you guys. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.